Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. This Twitter trash is going to be all about Klein versus Ben Shapiro. There has been some hot takes. There has been some huge controversy. There's been a lot of dumb takes. There's been a lot of exaggerations. It's been pretty crazy, but I'm going to try to sort this out and restore a little bit of sanity to the world. But before we get into all of that, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, and that is Magic Spoon. Guys, I'm super excited to finally be partnered with Magic Spoon because I've wanted to work with them for quite some time. Magic Spoon is a company that offers low-carb, high-protein, deliciously flavored cereal. One thing that's always been a little bit hard for me was to eat in the morning. I just really didn't have an appetite. But the interesting thing about Magic Spoon is that their food is so delicious, and it's the amount of protein that I really need in the morning. It was a perfect match for me. I actually wake up in the morning and I'm looking forward to eating breakfast. I actually crave my favorite flavor, the frosted one, because it's just so delicious. It doesn't make sense. You got 0 grams of sugar, 0. You got 13 to 14 grams of protein and only 4 to 5 net grams of carbs. It is high in protein, low in carbs. It is grain-free. It is keto-friendly. And for some of you that don't mess with soy, it's soy-free. So you guys got to do yourself a favor. You got to pick up the variety pack, which comes with the fruity flavor, comes with the frosted, my favorite, comes with cocoa, and it comes with peanut butter. And you can cross-contaminate them, and my goodness, it is an explosion of flavor. So click the link below and make sure you use code SBG to get $5 off of any order, or you can go to magicspoon.com/SBG. There is a 100% happiness guarantee, so if you don't like it for any reason, you can just get your money back. No questions asked. magicspoon.com/SBG. Go get your variety pack, son. And thanks again, Magic Spoon. Appreciate you.
Supreme victory.
So if anyone that hasn't been paying attention, let's just go through the timeline. Ethan makes this comment on his podcast.
I was just going to say, if there's another Holocaust and people start rounding up the Jews, I just say, if they start rounding up the Jews again, I hope Ben gets gassed first.
The internet is one of the last bastions where you're supposed to be able to make edgy jokes. Now, I know on a lot of platforms it's kind of slowed down, YouTube and whatnot, but still, I still grew up in an era that stuff doesn't bother me so much. Even if I acknowledge it being distasteful, I'm just like, it's still a joke. No matter what, it's still a joke. It's like watching South Park for all these years. Been watching South Park since I was like in 6th grade. And then you would have Cartman saying all this horrible anti-Semitic stuff. And it's funny because it's messed up. That is the whole point of it. But now, before we dive super deep into that, I do want to first start off by saying to Ethan Klein, I don't know if you're going to watch this. I know we're homies. But it's like, what are you thinking? And what I specifically mean by that is, did you not know this was going to be the outcome? If you make a joke that distasteful about the Holocaust at the expense of Ben Shapiro, did you not think this was going to happen? Everyone freaks out, and then of course Ben Shapiro takes this opportunity to take the high ground because obviously he's going to do that. He's not going to sink to your level because that wouldn't accomplish anything for him. Well, maybe it would, maybe it still would, but the best road was to take the high road for him, and so he says, if there were another Holocaust, I would hope that Ethan and his family escaped, but maybe that's just me. And you gotta love that, like, oh, maybe that's just me. Like, as much as I don't like Ben Shapiro, that was the perfect comeback, right? And what I gotta just say to Ethan, like, how did you not know this was going to happen? Joke or no joke? Obviously it's a joke. In context, out of context, it is such a stupid thing to not think it's a joke. Ethan Klein is a dual citizenship, Israeli and an American citizen. He's a Jewish person. If there was a second Holocaust, he would most likely be a part of it. So do you think he would really want that to happen? Like, maybe use your guys' brains just a little bit, because there's people that are tweeting out like as if Ethan really means this, as if this was the real hate speech and all this stuff. People that I've known for a while that, you know, used to like Ethan and now they don't like him, so now they're participating in this gay shit, like acting like this is some real shit. Like, they just hate him so much now because he's turned into what they call a Karen. They're like, oh, he's like an ideological Karen now. He's woke now, so now they just can't stand him. And now they want to take him down. Like, they so need to take him down that they're just actively dismissing that this is an obvious joke, that if this was a reality, if he wanted this as a reality, he would be in the gas chambers as well eventually. And then it would just be like, oh, I just hopefully Ben goes first. Do you know how stupid you people sound for thinking that this would be real? Yes, you can say and agree that it's a distasteful joke. And that's the fucking point. Again, when Cartman says really distasteful stuff, really distasteful anti-Semitic stuff, the point of it is dark and twisted humor. That's what makes it funny. That's what Ethan was going for, but the thing where Ethan drops the ball is that you know it's not gonna work. Why would you do this? In this current climate, I usually hate saying that, but in the current climate, you know that shit's not gonna fly. And then you know that the people that don't like you, there's this part of the internet that does not like Ethan Klein, and which is pretty much all conservatives too. What did you think was going to happen? Ethan goes on to say, hey Ben, it's a joke. Do conservatives know what those are? And sure, in poor taste, but not as poor taste as you platforming anti-Semites who spread dangerous conspiracies that led to real violence against Jews. That's the meaning of my joke. But of course you don't care about this context. And yes, that is the real context. Because if you guys weren't paying attention, Ben Shapiro owns the Daily Wire, which employs Candace Owens, and Candace Owens has been hanging out with Kanye West. It also employs Matt Walsh, which is, you know, another story for another day. But the point is, they're employing these people and giving these people platforms that are actually spewing dangerous anti-Semitic rhetoric, which has led to violence like Ethan has said. This is 100% true. Kanye went on the Drink Champs podcast and just for 3 hours was just spewing anti-Semitic rhetoric, right? Just going off. They weren't really curtailing him. They weren't pushing back. They were letting him go off. They knew that this was going to be a gold podcast, but also, you know, people weren't going to be happy with it. And obviously they weren't, and it got taken down. But these people are like, this is what he's rolling with. And then so Ben Shapiro came out and said, I disagree with that rhetoric, and I disagree with what Candace, he even said he disagrees with Candace Owens defending Kanye. Or Ye, excuse me, he changed his name to Ye. However, you still grant her the platform, which means at the end of the day, you don't really care. You don't really think that this dangerous rhetoric is that big of a deal. Now let's think about this. A powerful celebrity, one of the most famous people on earth, Ye, right, says a bunch of dangerous anti-Semitic rhetoric. What is worse? Platforming that? Having somebody employed that promotes that stuff? Or Ethan making that stupid fucking joke where he would be gassed as well? I don't know. I don't know which one seems worse, but that's the whole point. There's this fake and gay outrage that there's all these people that don't like Ethan Klein, so they're just going to pretend like what he said is worse than anything Ben Shapiro is doing. Harboring legitimate anti-Semitism. If you actually care about this situation. If you genuinely care about it. But what it seems like is Ethan's detractors don't care about it. They just don't like him. Take this tweet right here. It says, Ethan desperately clings to his notion that he is mainly hated for his politics, which is false. It's simple. You were the relatable voice of reason, funny YouTube guy. Now you're a miserable Karen that cancels people for content. Just embrace it and be at peace, dude. But see, sir, I don't agree with that, because imagine if Ethan was just spewing right-wing talking points all the time and he was trying to cancel people from the right side. It would be totally fine, because the right-wingers cancel just as much. They're all hypocrites. They all do it. Like it's a thing where people say, oh, freedom of speech and censorship and all this stuff, and then they all look at, as soon as Ethan messes up, all of a sudden they're just like, well, you gotta cancel him too. You gotta hold him up to the same standards. And that's what they care about. They want just, oh, eye for an eye. It's not that, like, I don't care what happens. I stand by my principles. I still don't want anybody to be canceled. I don't want anybody to be censored. You don't see that large wave. You see a large wave of, we need to get rid of him too, which shows you that they don't have any conviction. They don't have any principles. But if he was on the right side, they wouldn't bother him so much. That's fucking obvious. Now, I do want to speculate just a little bit before we move forward. Ethan, he got his YouTube suspended for a week, whatever. And some people are speculating that it's actually because they said that he allegedly doxed somebody, or they doxed the wrong person or something. That's floating around. Keemstar's peddling it, but you know, you got to take what Keemstar says with a grain of salt. I don't know. I just wanted to acknowledge that. I don't think that's true. This is a way bigger story. This would be a much more obvious reason to suspend somebody, to quote-unquote cancel somebody, right? So I'm sticking with that, and I do want to move forward with just a couple more things. So Ben Shapiro takes a few more swipes by saying this: I don't believe that Ethan Klein should be suspended from YouTube for his awful garbage, but I'll shed no tears for a person who has routinely engaged in cancellation of others. World's smallest violin. And so what he shows is Ethan when he was talking about taking down the videos of Jordan Peterson. Now, this is what I can't stand about this rhetoric, this bullshit narrative that a lot of people are painting about this. Ethan chose to remove the Jordan Peterson videos. That is not cancellation. Now, in my opinion, where Ethan messed up is that he even got on his soapbox and announced it to Twitter at all. Why not just do it? Just do it. I've removed videos that I was no longer happy with. There was things that I'm like, I think I got this wrong. I think this was in poor taste. I think, like, there's just some things where I'm like, I once made a huge mistake in a video and the entire video was just false premise. I deleted it. I'm just like, fuck, I gotta get rid of that. It wasn't like, I'm trying to hide or be sneaky. It's just because nobody was asking me to get rid of these damn things. So I was just like, for myself, for my principles, I'm gonna delete this stuff. Ethan did the same thing, but he decided to share it with his platform, and it made it a whole stink. And I feel like it's like, this is the problem with Ethan, these optics. He's so bad with them. Like him making these jokes, right? They're not a big deal to me at all. It's just some stupid, distasteful stuff that I've heard plenty of times. The jokes of the expensive Jews, ha ha ha, hilarious, you know? But then people are acting like it's so bad. It's the worst thing ever. Oh my God. And I'm like, did you not know this was gonna happen, Ethan? Come on, man. I know you're smarter than this. Like, what are you bored? What's really happening when you're reflecting on yourself? What's really happening? What is pushing you to move forward with these jokes, even when your crew is telling you stop? Like, just don't do it, because they already know what's gonna happen. Dan and all of them already know exactly where this is gonna lead, to this situation right here. So at the end of the day, this is gonna blow over in a week or two or something, because I can't even remember what Ethan said. He got so much trash for another joke. This was probably months ago. He said something, and then people were trying to like get after him again, and they were trying to cancel him again. It's like one of those things. I think he was suspended before. Like, I think his YouTube channel has been suspended multiple times because of distasteful jokes. But at the end of the day, they're just jokes. And so y'all need to stop acting so fucking stupid. I don't care what you feel about Ethan Klein. If you really don't like him anymore, fair enough. That's all good. I know Ethan. I've hung out with him. I think he's still chill. You know, I think that the online persona that he has a different persona. He's grown up and he's like, this is how I don't want to represent myself like that anymore. Ian iDubbbz has done the same thing, and I feel like a lot of these people get so angry at this. They get so mad, they're like, oh, this is gone. Dude, I understand that though. I'm not being completely like, just like, boo-hoo, get over it. It's a reality. It happens, and then you just got to move on. I mean, I think about my favorite podcast in the world was Cumtown. Right? And then Stavros of Cumtown decided he didn't want to do it anymore, and he left. And then the two remaining podcasters, Nick and Adam, they decided to go a different route, and they have a different podcast. And it is different from Cumtown. It is not what is. I love that podcast. It's gone. End of an era. Damn, that sucks. But we move forward. But I guess like maybe I'm in my 30s, so I'm okay with like accepting this stuff and moving forward. I feel like I've matured a hell of a lot more. I feel like a lot of these people that are bitching and crying are still in their early 20s and stuff, and they haven't really grasped that reality yet, that like your favorite things, they go away. They change. It's okay. It may be annoying, but it's just, you just move on and be like, you know what? It's all good. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I pissed some of you off, man. I really do. And for everybody else that enjoyed this video, have a wonderful day. Love y'all very much. Take care. See you soon.